the sun just came out. Some fog might cover it in a minute, make it easier for me to read. Just had to go to the dump, and I had a big old nasty igloo cooler full with chicken guts and feet that I forgot to get out from out back. It was frickin' nuclear waste, disgusting. Like the scent is still stuck to me. But anyway, I think I'm above that place called Devil's Lake. Did a video there a while back. And not too far from there is where locals say there was 2 of these beings frequenting this area for a long time, apparently. I could see it. But anyway, getting on a bunch of voices heard. I'm getting ready to leave. It's going to be like minus 17, 18 where I'm going soon. I'm a little chilly now. Might have to get a jacket. But anyway, quick note on, there was that video. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that video. A guy and his friend were in Alberta working. He drive down the road and he's trying to zoom in with his handheld phone while driving. I mean, it's a pretty good detailed video of what looked to be a giant being on the top of a snow-covered mountain. And I would never even be able to begin to imagine how you could fake that video in any way. But anyway, I watched that video, and apparently this guy was doing TikTok videos, absolutely not related to any of these topics. And all of a sudden, boom, he made that, he caught that, whatever he caught on his camera, and then he went looking into it, and I saw the video where the RCMP stopped him in the middle of the night on a public road, where basically just cold and rude to him, turn around, right in the area. Then he saw helicopters up around that mountain. I think he filmed some other items. I haven't thoroughly looked into it yet. But either way, there's some compelling videos made there. And I don't really look into these things myself, obviously. I think Dave Pliers is more apt to investigate than I am. But anyway, he also made a video of a car that was watching him, parked in front of his house. But I mean, that wouldn't be too alarming, right? I mean, I get drive-bys all the time. People gawking down the driveway, whatever. And I'm sure if it was any kind of a skilled government employee, they wouldn't just sit there in a shitty old car and then do a burnout and leave, right? When a civilian looks at them. They don't get intimidated by civilians. And there's no, it wouldn't even make sense for a government person to sit outside that guy's house. I mean, who is he? He's not an armed CIA operative or someone from another country. He's just a regular Canadian dude making a living, has a family and children, right? It's like people thinking that helicopters follow me around. Think about that one. No, they don't. But anyway, another topic. Now, he did make a video, and he looked concerned. He looked scared in the video. I've seen it, of him saying that he was scared, and that all the videos of the being that he made were all made up and a lie. And then all of a sudden, his last video was him saying, "You might not see me after this, but I didn't make any of that up." Now, maybe it's absolute crazy coincidence. Maybe it isn't, but now he's dead. He's passed away. He's left behind a lot of family, a wife and a child and children. His family doesn't live too far away from me right now. No, I do not want to contact his family and harass them. But I did do my due diligence a little bit last evening. I looked into it, found his obituary, and there's a lot of people on there commenting about this story that surrounded him. Now, this is in no way disrespecting him at all. He made those videos public, and he said publicly that he was being followed around and that he was being intimidated. And I think those videos are convincing enough to me that I think this possibly needs to be looked into. And it's not that far away. Maybe, possibly, I don't want to look into it with his family. They're probably going to know exactly what we know anyway, and you just got to let this. It wasn't that long ago he passed away, only 3 months ago or something. You want to let them be. But the word on the street is that these so-called, quote, giants, end quote, have been seen numerous times in that area. And I think it's called Whistler's, with an S on the end, mountain near Jasper. Anyway, I'm interested. I wouldn't mind going there. I mean, I could double up the opportunity to go film bighorn sheep and jasper and elk and stuff too at the same time, but I wouldn't mind looking into this. And I would actually invite being intimidated by whoever it is, if it's true. I would be absolutely enthusiastic to have those same individuals intimidate me. Because I would make them instant celebrities, first off, and tell them to ram their heads up their ass. Sorry, just the way it is. Wouldn't be able to stop myself, but I would like to look into that. So, if any of you have a bunch of you have probably got a big head start on me when it comes to this one story, maybe email me and let's see how far you've gotten. If you got something you want to share with the people about this particular story, alright? Because that is a damn convincing video that guy took. Like, very, very convincing. Anyway, I gotta get behind a tree. There's no way I'm gonna be able to read my phone with that sun blaring me in the eyeballs. I gotta get behind a tree. Get some shade. Back in a second. Oh man, seriously? Hold on. There's one big, somewhat big Christmas tree in front of me, that's it. Typical for Vancouver Island these days. Now, yeah, if somebody's got a big head start on that scoop and you want to share what you found out, you can share it with all the people through me, now that I've sparked a huge interest in that story, okay? There's one thing for certain, if it is true that there are some people out there who are intimidating people just for catching something on video. See, but that's the part about it that doesn't mesh up for me. My gut instincts say, no, they didn't kill the guy. You're not going to kill a regular blue-collar Canadian guy working probably in the oil patch by the sounds of it. He's working in Alberta, living on the island. He's probably working in the patch. You're not going to kill a guy for posting a video of what you've seen on TikTok. You're not. Who are you going to kill? You're probably going to kill, if there is some kind of something going on with black ops, whatever you want to call them, those are the guys you're probably going to kill. You're probably going to kill coworkers that are getting weak between the ears and might be a threat of spilling what you're doing. Those are the guys you're going to kill. You're not going to kill somebody driving down the road making a video with their phone of a mountaintop and sharing it online. It's just not going to happen. And if you are, and you are that connected or whatever you are, you're probably going to absolutely erase that individual from online, and any details in any trail that might lead to the fact that you snuffed them out. But that's just me thinking out loud. So let's get to the bottom of this, because I'm just saying, if there is a chance that somebody intimidated the shit out of him, if there is a chance that that's true, I believe that we should get on that trail because it's still warm and find out who and expose their asses. And if there's any other footage of that being on top of that mountain from somebody else, let's get it. Alright? No more being scared. No more being scared. Get to the bottom of that one. I think it's worthy of time anyway. Now, speaking worthy of time, I got a bunch of voices here that are very worthy of our time. They took the time out to type to us. I'm going to take the time out to read it, and we're going to listen. This is titled, It's Happening Now. Steve, please do not tell my name. It's not that I am fearful of what people may say. I don't need attention to me or the land I hunt. Some of the other guys in our hunting club have also seen this being. There are 2 documented cases on this property also. I live in the southeast United States. The property is an extremely large tract of land with ridges, creeks, and ravines. It's a mix of hardwood and pine. I consider it heaven on earth, but no more. It was the last week of bow season. I was out scouting the most remote part of the property. I was on foot. The woods were thick with many game trails. There are no roads or 4 ATVs. No one has been there for a while. I found myself in a surreal environment. It was full sun, but the tree canopy made the woods glow in a bizarre green tint and very dark. I was following a small creek that flows in a zigzag pattern through the woods. At some points, the creek is 7 to 8 feet below the forest floor. Steep sides, and I can see where the game have been crossing. Approaching a bend in the creek, I'm hit with the most disgusting smell that stopped me in my tracks. I started looking around for something dead. That's when the smell changed to a sewage smell. A voice in my brain. That little bastard flew right in my mouth. A voice in my brain told me to leave and leave now. I started walking down the creek. I walked up, all while this voice in my head was telling me to hurry up and leave. When I found a trail out of the creek, I took it. I had no idea where I was and was confused. Did this really happen? I stopped on the hill adjacent to the creek and turned back and asked if I could hunt this land with its permission. Steve, I made a deal with this unseen being. I told it if it allows me to hunt and to harvest a deer, I would leave the liver and heart for it as a thank you. I feel like I may have lost my mind, but it's rifle season now and I'm soon to go back there. I cannot explain it. I feel I have to go back. I have nothing to prove. I've seen things before in the woods or forests. I have been blessed to travel and fish and hunt all over the lower 48, Alaska, and parts of Western Canada. If I do harvest a deer, I'll let you know. As a side note, we, the hunting club, are thinking this thing travels the trees. No footprints have been found. How can people see this thing but it leaves no footprint? There is more to actual sightings, but that's for another email. Stay safe and God bless you, brother. Okay, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I haven't a clue about that offering thing, because for me, I'm picturing offering up the heart and the liver to somebody who can probably go grab an entire deer every 7 minutes if they felt like it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still on the fence of whether or not they are even here full time or not myself. But that's just me. But either way, be safe out there, man. And if you email me back again to share with the people, make sure you put it all in there, all right? So who knows when I'm going to find your email and get it read. You're not alone, are you? You're not alone when it comes to having that voice in your head say, get the hell out of here. It's bizarre. I haven't had it happen to me at all. I have had my hair on the side of my head my body stand up like wire. I've felt my gut instincts to stay away. I've heard more sounds than I haven't, and that's what makes me avoid some places that I avoid, just because I'm just not into it. But then there's other places where the hunting and the time I put in there is very substantial. I don't care what happens, I'm not going to stop going there. And sadly, one of my favorite places ever to be is frequented by these beings. And that's where I had that trail camera video, those glowing eyes or whatever they were, off of the ridge 14 feet in the air. That's where that happened. I found a footprint and I heard screams come out of the woods another time there. And I know of 2 people that seen one there. And I filmed those lights up in the mountains right by there as well. And I can't not go there, so I open myself up to an experience there quite often. But anyway, I'm babbling. This is titled Floating Amber Lights. Hi Steve, you can use my name. Never saw a Sabe, but my first wife, one of my sons, and myself, we each at different times saw amber yellow balls floating through our house. They're about the same size as a tennis ball. My wife would see 2 at a time, several times. I never tried to get close to them myself. This was in a house in Corcoran, California. Years later, my youngest son and myself, we watched a bright blue ball-like light, about the size of a small ball that girls played jacks with. It flew straight back and forth in the living room, from one wall to the other, east to west, north to south, and from floor to ceiling. There was no sound. Then it went straight outside, passing through a closed glass door and closed curtain with no breakage or movement of them. It was on the back porch with the dog, and instantly the dog went berserk, barking at it. Then it came back inside with my son and myself and continued to bounce around back and forth. It went outside twice with the dog, then came back in the 3rd time, bounced around and went out through the ceiling. It'll last about 2 minutes. Stephen Bowron. That's a holy shit moment. I can't even imagine seeing that. Seriously. Crazy. I don't know what to say to that. I do know I have seen a photograph. I made a video about death a couple years ago after I nearly died. And I put in a few experiences of people that I know and trust in there as well. And a friend of mine, he was with his sisters in his father's hospice room. And as he was passing away, they smelt tobacco smell from a pipe from his brother. His brother, who passed before him, smoked a pipe all the time. And then his sister said, look. And they looked up in the corner of the room, in the ceiling, and there was different colored lights in the room. And he got a picture with his phone and he showed me. I've seen it. So, now that I've learned of that experience and I hear of lights inside a home like that, I don't know what it is. Who knows, right? I don't know. So there's not much I can say about it myself. Somebody's going to say something in the comments section below, I'll guarantee you. Man, it's getting chilly out here. This is titled Black Hills, Little Bigfoot. Hi, Steve. We love hearing all the reports coming in. There's so many, but some are just heartbreaking. You're doing a fine job helping this knowledge come to those who really need it. You're a good man. Thank you for the kind words. Like the rest of the club, I have seen him and I know he's there. However, with all the emails you're getting, my little encounters seem more like a nuisance rather than anything helpful. Then someone questioned a footprint found in the Black Hills of South Dakota. So if it's any help to those who wonder, I too can say yes. The forest people are in the Black Hills undeniably. It was the summer of '78 and I went for a drive through the hills with a friend, John. It was a sunny afternoon. I couldn't say exactly where we were, but we'd been driving on blacktop roads all day, no logging trails. Around a slow curve, we came to a clearing with a single buck grazing maybe 150 yards away. We parked out of sight and walked about 50 feet when John said, "Stay here and keep your eye on him while I walk around and get closer." We were on one side of a grassy ravine with some brush, a few trees, and a huge boulder halfway up the far side. That's where he was grazing. Well, at some point I lost sight of that deer, so I was just sitting there, thinking up a good story to tell the guy when he returned. He'd probably ask me, "Where'd he go?" Finally, John got back, but rather than walking my way, he sprang out from behind the big rock, took a couple of long strides, and jumped over the top of the hill out of sight. That was weird. I didn't know if I should be impressed or giggle. Was he trying to chase down that deer? How long is this going to take? It wasn't long. As if contemplating the situation, John walks out from behind that same big rock. What the hell? But I just watched him leap into action up and over the hill. Well, obviously that wasn't John the first time. However, they were both the same size and build, just under 6 foot, about 175 pounds. As the mystery man was scrambling up the hill, I had plenty of time to wonder, why does he look completely dark? That's weird. I guess it's okay, he's in the shadows. I know that's dumb logic. When the real John came from behind the rock, he was not dark from head to toe. I could see him clearly. I could see the printed pattern on his shirt, the buttons, and his belt buckle. He was in the exact same place, in the exact same shadows, but he wasn't completely dark. Yup, at that moment, I knew what I saw. It was a smaller Sasquatch, a boy hairy man, a little Bigfoot. That's it. Not much knowledge to share with the people, except yes, they are in the Black Hills too. Thanks, Steve, for a place to share my little story. I'm Sandy Carlson. You can use my name. You're a free woman, Sandy. You're a free, brave woman. I did not grow up in the woods, I did not hunt, and I'm familiar with local wildlife. I was just a suburban kid visiting the Black Hills of South Dakota. Little details. I didn't notice anything unusual about the head shape or any other features. He was running away from me. The dark color didn't look like long flowing hair. I couldn't even say it was hair. He was just totally dark from head to toe. I don't know if it was male or female. The arms were swinging, pumping as it ran up the ravine. They were long, but not unusually long. There were no smells, no screams, no fear, just, huh. John said he didn't see anything, but there had recently been local sightings. Steve, I was in my 20s, perfect eyesight, sunny afternoon, and I was just sitting there watching a deer. This was not a deer or a bear. It was a man running uphill. Just a few moments later, John walked exactly where it had been. That's it. Thanks again, Steve. P.S. Is Sabe really short for Kimo Sabe from the Lone Ranger in Tonto? That you'd have to ask the First Nations people. I guess possibly, right? Possibly has something to do with that name. But I'm definitely not the one to ask. And thank you so much for your share. I appreciate you and you being brave and leaving your name. You set a great example for other people sitting on the fence. Here's another one. Sasquatch with red eyes proposed U.S. Space Force unit patch. Steve, after being commissioned in 2018 via President Trump, the U.S. Space Force designed various trial uniform patches for their operational units. One proposed design for the 61st Cyber Squadron depicted a Sasquatch. It has red eyes and is holding a lightning bolt in its left hand and a shield pointing towards the viewer on its right. The shield is black on one side and red on the other, with a delta triangle in the middle straddling the two colors. Would your scientists know anything about all the other weird and wild designs on the Space Force patches and logos? Freaky. Mike M. Haven't a clue. It's a little different though, isn't it? Now, is that going to work? Doesn't look like it. Son of a bitch. Alright, I'll have to put that on there once I get around to getting this on onto the YouTube. Crazy. That's a bit of an odd patch, right? Especially that description. It's a ringer for what people see. I don't get it. Oh, it's chilly. I put my jacket on. This is my story. Please don't use my name. I'm 66 years old now and I live in Nashville. My mother's family had inherited their home place very remote next to a big wilderness reserve in Missouri. Each family had their own cabin or camper there on Large Creek. It was heaven on earth. Okay, we got no punctuation, sorry. We spent many weekends there. I was raised in a small town in Mississippi about an hour from camp. It was so remote that you had to take Old County Road that hadn't been opened since my grandfather lived there. It was 2 miles in off gravel road to get there. Every morning turkeys would wake you up. Anyway, we did a lot of coon hunting there. My father owned several registered walkers. It was my passion to be out in deep woods at night, very peaceful. I was 19 one weekend in October that I took my favorite dog, Big Matt, for a run. The season hadn't opened yet. It was around 10 p.m. when I got there. Was only going for a few hours, so it was a dark, warm night. I let Matt out, took off walking down the creek, listening to my dog run. All I had was my flashlight. It was way too warm. Only wore jeans and a t-shirt. Stopped, listened for dog, then kept walking to fence of old barbed wire that ran across the creek. Had a hard time crossing it. There was a lot of old logs and stuff, so I climbed around it and continued down the creek. Hadn't heard my dog in a while. I came to Bend in Creek. I was about a half mile from the camp, did a lot of fishing in those creeks. When I came around the bend, I froze. There along the creek was this big shadow. First I thought it was a big man. Then I shined my flashlight on it. Oh my God. It started to stand up and covering its eyes. It was at least 8 feet, dark color. Then out came another from the side of the creek, only 4 foot, and ran to it. It raised its arms and growled at me. I turned and started running as fast as I could. Looking back, not paying attention, I ran into a barbed wire fence. I got really tangled in it, and the more I fought to get out, the tighter it got. I finally stopped fighting it. I was bleeding badly and could see out of one eye. Then the worst thing could happen. It came around the bend and then it stops. No, I'm not kidding. It stops. That sucks. That's what you call a cliffhanger, right? Just left us hanging. All right. Well, you get a chance? Send us the rest of that story, man. We're sitting here on pins and needles waiting. That sucks. In a way, that doesn't sound like it's going to be a very fun story. Well, fun for you, right? Holy shit. Yeah, write us back. As soon as I get back, I'll see if I screwed up, but I don't think I did. From day one I've been here. Oh, sorry. Oh, hold on, there's 2 parts. Steve, let me first start up by saying I appreciate everything you've done for the people, including myself. I too have an unreal encounter that needs to be heard. And as I was typing it out for the people, you aired your newest video on October 30th, 2022, titled Words of Wisdom, Twitter, a Gift, and Special Ending. And you stopped me dead in my tracks. I don't care if you share this. I doubt you will. And you can use my name anytime you want. Sir, I don't have any gifts for you, but I do have is an encounter that will hopefully hit somebody's memory. That will help. And then I guess you hit send. And here comes the second email. Sorry, hit send. Please let me continue. I left off with a memory that will help me and many others, I hope. I want answers. This letter is 4+ years in the making. Thank you, everybody that sits at this unwanted table. You've inspired me to tell mine. Here we go. July 20, 2017. Me and one of my best friends go camping outside of Buena Vista, Colorado. Incredible spot. Didn't see any humans the entire time. Once we crossed over 3 different rivers in our trucks to get there. First 2 nights, absolute bliss. Sitting around the camp, fire talking. It don't get better than this. I wish I would have left that morning when he and his family left, because the night to follow was the worst night in my life. Nobody within 5 miles as the crow flies. I had not a care in the world. Brook trout for breakfast and lunch. I have a porterhouse steak left for dinner. As night falls, roughly 9 p.m., I started cooking my steak. Got so quiet that you couldn't even hear the fire crackle. I started hearing nothing but the forest branches breaking. Footsteps on the dead leaves on all sides of me. I thought it was my friend coming back to stay one more night. I'm cooking my steak, still no sound from the fire pit. Small pine cone and rocks are being thrown at me. My stupid ass thinks it's my friend and his family effing with me. I finished cooking my steak, yelling, "Y'all missed out, come and get some." No response. I didn't care, I had a porterhouse to eat. I think it was my 5th bite of steak that from the southwest was this growl that I wished upon nobody, 30 feet max. I jumped so high, steak and all the fixings hit the ground as I'm turning and running to my tent. That's where my firearm and bow are. I instantly knew this wasn't my friend. I could run as fast as I wanted to, so I was on all 4. Oh, I couldn't run as fast as I wanted to, so I was on all 4s trying to get my pistol. I get to 10 feet of my tent, and I can't move, not an inch, not a pinky. I couldn't even blink. I was frozen in place. My vision was like paranormal vision on a camera. I couldn't blink, I couldn't move, nothing but see. And then it stepped out 15 feet behind my tent. I instantly felt tears rolling down my face. I'm literally frozen in place. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't move. Then he, and I do mean he, walked around my tent and was within less than 10 feet of me. I lost control of all bowel movements instantly, still unable to move. And when he got a whiff of me shitting myself, he came within 1 foot of my face and growled at me. In my panoramic view, I see 4 others coming out. 1 female, huge, glides up to the male and pushes him back. Just a foot, maybe 2, and looked me dead in the eye. Her face 6 inches from mine. Tears are unstoppable. She smiled at me as if to say sorry, and grabbed the male and walked away. I remember the adolescents watching this. 1 looked as scared as I was, and the other 2 looked confused. They disappeared in the forest, and as soon as I couldn't see them is when my body collapsed. I stayed in that exact position until the sun woke me up the next morning. Then I got the hell out of there. Thanks, Steve. This was tough to relive. I still don't have any answers, but maybe it'll help somebody, and God bless. Now, did you say use your name? Sorry, man. See, I always got to check. You can use my name. Okay, Michael Robineau. 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 R-O-B-I-N-E-A-U. Robineau. That is a real shitty experience. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks or says. That one sucks. Right? And it's not, there's been a lot of people have shared experiencing having a group of them. We've had lots of people share of a female scolding a male while the male looks at people wanting to basically destroy them with his eyeballs. What else? There's that woman. There's a woman who was attacked, physically assaulted, chucked around, or whatever happened to her from a male on a beach in the United States. I think it was Oregon. There's been, I don't know how many people have experienced the, quote, large male, end quote, looking at them like they want to kill them, right? And it's those experience like you just had, man. That's the shit that gives me incentive to do what we're doing here, right? It's not fair. It's not fair. Nobody deserves to have an experience like that without at least being subtly, slightly given some kind of knowledge that there is a chance of that happening where they are planning on going camping and having fun. You know what I mean? It's not fair. So many people don't even get to, well, the majority of the population doesn't even get to have access to this kind of information or knowledge. First off, they never even think of it. Secondly, they've been raised to believe it's a joke. I mean, who the hell wants to be sitting there camping by themselves about to enjoy a steak? Next thing you know, you're frozen, physically shitting your pants while this, what we've been raised to describe as our typical childhood monster is alive, standing there in front of you. Big, hairy, muscular, and pop your head off like nothing felt like it, and all of a sudden it's frickin' real, standing there in front of you. That's bullshit, right? That is absolute bullshit. That people are experiencing this shit and they did not have any kind of a hint of a heads up that something like this just might happen. Right? It's bullshit. Now this looks like it'd be a good deer hunting spot. I keep looking, it's just about the right regrowth cover. There's not much sign of humans coming down this dead end old logging road. A little bit of a buck rub there. But anyway, my brain just slipped into hunter mode there. I gotta get going. Hopefully we get some more answers. We need more people to email. Well, I mean, I already got, what am I saying? I got so many emails from people, it's stupid, but I guess what I meant to say is people have got to start talking openly about this. And the more people that talk, the more knowledge is spread. And I cannot think of one so-called authority today that I need to hear anything from. I don't need to hear shit from people who are considered authorities right now. That'll be government. Government anything. I don't need to hear shit from them today. Any day. We need to hear from the people. Right? We're the ones that run this show. Believe it or not. We're supposed to be anyway. We're told we are, but I guess we don't in a lot of ways. Anyway, I'm going to get rolling. I'll be back. I might be able to make one more before I go. Yeah, I will. Tomorrow. Because I have to go into the mountains and retrieve some trail cameras to bring with me up north because I ordered some more and they're not going to be here in time. So I'm going to have to do that tomorrow. I'll get up 4:30 and go give her and see if I can find some elk to film or whatever else. And grab those trail cameras. And then I'll make a video while I'm out there too. So I'll be back. Share my story at howtohunt.com. The backup channel is rolling along non-stop in case if when this channel gets deleted. And that is the Roundtable of Knowledge by HTH. And I'll be back shortly.
one we hold up, is it?
That'd take a while. And this is how you come down.